Hi everyone, now this is a request. Now there is a lot of good tines of this fly on YouTube, but I'm going to tie it. I've actually even a private message asking or describing a fly and asked me what it was, and it was basically this is a fly called the Professor. Now it's an old fly, it's a pattern, I mean it's fishes, a classic style wet fly, but this fish is as good as the day. If you're willing to tie it and fish it, I'm sure you'll catch fish on it. Now I'm tying it in a size 12, just a standard. This is a medium wire hook. This is it's a Fulham mill. It's an all-purpose medium, size 12. Now the body of the fly is yellow, so I'm going to basically start with a yellow thread. It's just so that obviously, if I'm using it's a black head on it. So if I use black thread, it's going to, when it's wet, it's going to darken it down. So I'm going to keep it nice and bright by using the yellow thread. Now I'm just going to tie it as a fishing fly, not as something that can easily be tied to look really good. So but anyways, a standard trout fly size would be a 12, size 12, 14 would be ideal for the river and for the lochs. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the eye of the hook and just put down a layer of thread to the point where I'll stop is in line with the barb of the hook. So when I let the thread go, it should be in line with the barb, which is a couple of more turns than that. So there. Now for the tail of the fly, I'm going to be using, this is basically a domestic duck feather dyed, as you can see, red scarlet. It's a good colour, and it's easy to dye. I dyed these. So now tail is made up from these. You could use Hackle fibre if you want. So I'm just going to use my needle to bring out some of the fibre. I don't like the tail too thick. So I obviously need a right and a left. So this is not as good as that one there, so I'll take away this. Just use my needle to get the size, it's a wee bit too big. And then, as I say, I just tear it off. Then I'm going to just tie one like I would do a wing really. So I would just lay them up, look at the thickness either side, make sure they're right. You're looking for a tail length, could be the body length or just slightly less, it's up to you. So I'm going to bring them together, just making sure the ends are lined up. So fold them together. So I say, look at the length of the tail that you want. Just pinch and loop it on the top. Now I have waxed the thread, so there's plenty of grip. So see, this is just a basic trout fly. Just checking the tail. That's fine. Now in some of the patterns you'll see that the fly is actually got a tag on it, but that's just basically for the bigger flies. For the size of the trout, you're best just to rib the fly. Now I'm using a small, this is a silver tinsel. So I'm just going to go back a turn here, just catch it in. Full length of the body, so we're balancing the body. And then we wind the thread up. Just keep going all the way up. Now leave your room for obviously the wing and the hackle. Now I've got some yellow floss. Now what I'm going to do here is take a nice taper. Sometimes there are different ways you can tie it in. This way you actually work towards the back. So basically you can wind down for where you got it on. Spread really well and easy, and you get a nice neat body with this. Way up against the tail, just check. If you're happy with that, then you can start to wind back up. And catch it in. Now just to show you something, I'm going to show you this. What I used to do a lot was because we're using heavy silk threads years ago, when you wind up, you keep the floss tight, so see the 3 turns that you actually used to hold that floss, you can take them back and then go back in and catch in both ends with those 3 turns, and you save a bit of bulk by doing that. So again, just trim that away. Just going to wax my thread, make sure there's grip. Just tie this in, come back up, give a rib. Around, if it's the right thickness, 5 turns or so. I mean, if it's too wide, a tinsel, you'll not get 5 turns and a nice rib, a reasonable rib anyway. Now I'm going to trim this away. Just check my tail. That's fine. So say this is just a basic fishing fly. Now for the hackle, I'm just going to use an Indie neck, just a light ginger or brown. Ideal. Now being a hen hackle, it's best to tie it in by the tip. Just going to catch it on. A couple of turns there and you can fold back the tip. A couple of turns back up. Slip your fingers back to the tip of the hackle. It pulls out. I mean, now I normally just break it off, but if you don't like doing that, you just come in with the scissors and trim away. Now I should have actually taken away the fluff here, but I'll take it away. Just hold the feather, if you're going to do this, nice and tight so you're not pulling onto the area where you've tied it. Hackle pliers. Just lightly stroke the fibres back. Just going to bring my thread down, sorry. Just tidy up. Taking myself a wee bit desperate to get the hackle on there and not tidy up. So basically taking the thread down so I can wind my thread on. Sorry, my hackle. Enough hackle, just follow up with the thread. Now these are really thin stems on these feathers. So I can take away my hackles, my hackle pliers, and then come over the top with 2 or 3 turns. Again, you can either come in with the scissors or you can just break it off. And there we go, that's your body. Now that would make a good wet fly. Then just itself, now if you put a hackle wing on it, I've got some, this is Mallard flank. These are reasonably well marked. I've got a right and a left actually, because I want to use, you'll find in these feathers you get a thick, or basically an ideal side for making wings. And I'm using the right and the left, so when you buy a packet, I buy a big packet of the flank feathers, then I go through them and select these feathers. I use them in classic salmon flies as well as town trout. So anyway, take away the fluff, the base, to both sides. Basically what I'm doing is I'm taking away the rubbish here, so I've got some left to form a wing. Now you just bring it out, just try and show you this, just bring it out so you get a nice width in the wing for the size of the fly that you're tying. And this one you're looking round, it's not too wide, maybe, I don't know, I need to measure it, I just do it by eye, so I'd say 3 to 4 mil, tear it off. So I've got a right and a left. There's a couple of ways I tie it. You either lay it on top of one another and then marry them together, or I would do a right and a left, which I'm doing at the moment. So I've got them right and a left. You can see there's a left side and a right side, so they're curving into one another. And then I tie this on the top, length. Now this is up to yourself. Halfway, around about halfway into the tail, just measure it into halfway into the tail, and then I just fold it. Just take your time. Bring your thread up, do a pinch and loop, nice and easy. Just allow the thread to slip through your fingers, between your fingers. 2 or 3 turns. Recheck. Now, you can always go back if you're not happy. Looking at it, my side's not so good. So your side's better than mine. So always I find I just stroke these together a wee bit. If I hold the wing and then go back and just slightly position it better and then bring it slightly towards myself, And again, pinch and loop. And 2 or 3 turns just to make sure it's not going to move. I find it sits better the second time. You can see I'm happy enough with that. Just come in, trim away the waste. Again, wax your thread. Now I'm bringing my thread to the front here. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm change to black. I want a black head on it. So I've got my black thread and I'm right at the eye and it's waxed, so I basically start from here and I'm winding up, forming the head and tying in the tying thread, the yellow thread. Just work your way up, just take your time. Get your scissors, come in and take away the waste of the black and the yellow thread. Just double check there's wax on there. Come right up, you want it nice and square to the wing. Happy with that, come straight in, and then you can basically dress the head, meaning tidy the head up by doing the whip finish and coming back down, tighten, trim away my thread, and there we go. It's a wee trout fly professor. There we go. Then all I've got to do is a couple of coats of varnish. And then the head nice and bright. You could just a single coat would do it as well. Now apply your varnish all the way around. Just take your time. As I say, I usually put 2 coats on. So just tap the head as you go around. And then obviously, I mean a single coat could finish, we could do it, I mean that's not too bad. But once it dries it shrinks a bit. So anyway, there's a quick tying of the Professor. Is a basic trout fly. So say it's a fly, I don't know how old it is, but it's a classic style, old style fly. It could be tied as whatever size. I've seen it tied in as a streamer like look, streamer fly. So as I say, it's a nice colour combination and it works. And I basically tied it as a river loch style wet fly. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Again, if you enjoy the videos, please subscribe if you haven't, and thank you for watching.